Today we're working on the bathroom of this beach reno makeover. This is Manny with Nicolai Design. Welcome to my channel. Hit like below, subscribe because that'll really help, and let's get on with the video. This is the current state of the bathroom. That's my phone. You got this ugly curtain. The plan was to have this like wrapped in like a vinyl thing or like completely removed, but we're not going to remove it because that would require permitting and we're not trying to permit. The actual wrapping itself of the bathtub and the tiles is going to come out a little bit too much for my liking because it's already sticking out from the wall so much, and it's going to cost like $3,000, which just doesn't make sense for us. Instead, I'm going to remove all the tiles down here, and then we'll have like clean slate of walls. The vanity will be ripped out. We'll tile over this floor and we should be good to go. Let's get to it. Since this is in the way, I'm going to remove the vanity really quickly. You want to make sure that you've closed your little hoses. Like that one right there, just turn it. I've already turned it, and then make sure you disconnect this pipe, because if not, you'll pull it up when you pull up the countertop. Now that the vanity top is out, if you guys have any questions about this, basically vanity tops are usually just caulked around the top. Sometimes they'll put some adhesive here on the bottom. As you can see here, it didn't really glue very well. So all you want to do is take the caulk off wherever there is some, and then literally just pull it up like I did. With a few pulls, it should come apart. Most vanities will be secured to the wall somehow. I'm gonna remove these screws. That should be about it to be able to get it out of there. Also, you guys will notice there's caulk all along here, so I'm gonna make sure I remove that too before I try pulling it up. And there's a little bit right here. Alright, so the vanity's out. It pulled some sheetrock with it, but that's fine because it's revealing that there was some mold on the sheetrock. Also notice how there's some rat droppings, and I'm pretty sure that's like a dead mouse. There was a mouse infestation here at some point, and the house has been smelling, and we had to like break up the whole like what is it called, this soffit. So like this, if you guys don't notice, in the kitchen, that's where like some of the cables for upstairs run and some of the pipe work. So we can't get rid of it, which is why it's staying like that instead of us like taking it all the way up. Mice were living in there and like pooping and doing the things in there. So the house stopped smelling like mice, but obviously like if we didn't break up the walls in here, we weren't gonna be able to get all of it. Just wanna show you guys my new vacuum. I bought it for $100 at Costco, which is a steal considering how strong of a vacuum it is. Already smells way better now that I got the little corpse out. This is day 2 of removing tiles, and it really depends on the tile and the adhesive used on how easily you can remove it from the wall. Most of the times you have to actually remove the actual sheetrock, but thankfully here I don't, which means that I won't need permits in this city, and I'm saving money by not having to buy a new Durock and dispose of all this. So let's continue. Hey guys! It's time to do the shower. So I'm gonna protect the actual bathtub because we're gonna just be refinishing the bathtub and not removing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape it, put some like heavy duty plastic bags and some cardboard for extra like added protection. And then we're gonna go ahead and just keep removing this tile. So let's do that, guy. Oh wow, I zoomed in. Alright guys, this is day 3 of the bathroom. I've pulled up most of the floor already. That was pretty quick. We're like trying this out. This is a 1/4 inch hardy backer board to kind of make the wall even with the bottom part. As you guys can see, it sticks out. But now that we put this there, it's completely flush. So We're gonna do the same thing with the entire bathroom, minus this wall because there's no tile back there. But this up on top of the shower, I removed the vanity. We're gonna do like a little arch with some shelves so you can put like your toothbrushes and stuff there instead of having it like on the counter. So I'm just gonna update you on what was done last night. We kind of gave it like a first coat of plaster. My dad thinks he's good at it, and I've already like sanded it down a little bit. But whatever. So we gave it like a first coat. It's looking a lot better already. We didn't do everything because it got late. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish taping everything up. Got our pieces up there. I cut the pieces for a little nook. I have to come now and put that piece that goes over it with the little arch. Alright, so the next step is going to be to board this up like I did right here. So I'm going to do that really quick and I'm going to show you guys how I cut it. It's pretty easy. The hardy board is pretty easy to cut because it already has grid lines. Let's go. So as you guys can see, this has lines across it coming up and down, so it makes it easier to cut if your measurement is exactly on that line. But even if it doesn't, it's pretty easy to cut.
I need a remedy, some melody sung by faces that I don't recognize.
So,
Find someone new to go home with. We both know I am looking for a friendship. And when it's done, I'm running for the exit back into the blue. 'Cause all that I ever do is trying to get over you. I know that I gotta let you go. And all that I ever need is you right next to me. I know that I gotta let you go.
Alright, so I finally got all the pieces in. You guys can see up there, over here, and a little nook. So now I'm going to tape everything up with this tape so we can put the plaster over it. Got nice little sealed lines. Come here. This is like sort of like a tape. It's a little bit sticky, so it should adhere just enough to your surface. And then usually with the spatula, I don't know if this one will work, but you can just cut it right there, and that's one.
24/7, 365, that's still dawn, day and night. 24/7, 365.
What's up, guys? So we're at Floor & Decor. My parents are here, so we're gonna go ahead and just take advantage of the fact that they're here. So we've walked all of the store. Basically, their selection now is just like these larger panels, which tend to look a lot better. But because we're doing this ourselves and we don't have like a large tile cutting tool, and we're trying to save money, we're trying to do it ourselves, so we have to buy like the smaller. So out of all this horrible selection that they have, the only one that we've kind of liked is this one. We're kind of going for like that beige feel. And when I say kind of, I mean like kind of. Like it's not exactly what we want, but it's okay. And to the stone part, and they have a marble one that looks really, really nice, and it's going to be like more than twice the price, but I think it'll be worth it. We're just trying to figure out the logistics of being solid, and that's this tile, which just looks way better. Granted, it's twice the price, but it's not that much that we need to buy, so let's see. All right, I'm trying to match this tile to one of these. I think 15 is going to be the best because this one's a little dark.
Okay.
You guys see that? I think that's going to work best. Or maybe light almonds because it's lighter. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, probably light almonds. I'm over here with the wall tiles. We're about to pay. This is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
This update. Sorry that I look like shit and I'm kind of tired. Anyways, I found this tile at another Floor & Decor, and this is like travertine, but it's porcelain, so it's more durable. It doesn't have a shine, which the marble that we bought does. It's more affordable and it's easier to work with. So I purchased these and returned the other ones because this is just easier upkeep for like a rental. And marble over time, like you have to polish it and the water can like penetrate and stain your stone. So I'm looking for a bull nose, which is what goes at the edge, that matches the tile. I don't think this matches, which kind of sucks because I don't want to use that metal trim. I think it looks like too modern. That metal trim that people put, that's like a new thing now. It kind of looks cheap to me, so I don't like it. So did this tile up, but then I realized that I think I might like this one better because it's a little more toned down. It doesn't have as much yellow. So this is that one. I think I'm gonna pull it over here. That's that one. Alright, so here you have it. This one has a little bit more yellow. This one's a little bit more like toned down. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards the yellow, but I can't decide which one I prefer. But I think that looks really good and it makes it look like real stone too, which I like. This is the same one. This is the darker one. Honestly, they both look really good. Test is which one looks more like the travertine sink that I want to put in there, so we're gonna go to the sinks right now. All right, so we're at the sinks. I think we can see which one goes better. It's gonna be the more yellow one because this one's a little too white. Like, look how much lighter this one is than that. And the sink that I'm gonna buy is very similar to this. Look what happens when I compare it to this one. The light one looks better with it because it's lighter. Out of the sink I'm buying is like travertine or marble because that'll help me decide. Guys, so many decisions go into like any project. Like, this is why you pay a designer the money that you pay them, because this is crazy. All right, so we got bullnose, we got the tile. Dude, the marble looks so much like this. Ugh, it looks perfect. So now I'm gonna get like actual travertine tile for the floors. I'm looking at this one. It looks a lot like our tile. I want to show you guys. This is the one that's here. It's too brown. It's too like yellow for the tile. You guys look at it, you can tell. But this one, it's more similar, especially when you put it up like that. So if you lay it down, obviously it's stone, so regardless it's gonna vary. You could tell this one's like has like more green blue in it, where this one's a little warmer. But if you put it up, because the light hits it differently, it actually works really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one instead. Alright, so the first tile saw didn't work. We just got another one. The stand isn't the one for this, but it's working, so at least we're making progress. Alright, good morning. At this point, I don't even know what day it is, but basically it's another day. We worked about 4 hours tiling yesterday, give or take. This is what it's looking like so far. Amazing. Today I have to finish up this wall, get this toilet out, and tile it before 2:30. It is currently 8:30. I need to return the machine by 3. I'm gonna start by marking this. I have some scrap board there, so that all my tile lines up here. So if you look at that line there and down here, they all line up. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make our mortar, and we're gonna glue these. Alright guys, so now I'm putting up the bull nose, which is like the traditional trim. I think it looks better than putting those metal pieces like this filled with cement, so we can put it on there. I'm not sure if these are supposed to have like a spacer between them or not. I think that I don't want a spacer between them. So I would like for it to look like it's one piece, but I don't know if I can achieve that. Toilet is gone! Now I gotta remove all of that and install the flooring finally. Alright guys, so the tile has been laid. I had an issue where I did a dry fit and I had to return the machine, so I basically fitted everything perfectly, and then this piece here cracked, so I had to replace it. And all my lines were matching up perfectly, but then for some reason the one that I replaced it with was bigger than the one that was here. That's why you see that. And then all the other ones, the two other ones that I had, were also bigger than the one that I had here. So it kind of like messed up my lines there. Now when I cover it with a grout, it probably won't be as visible, but it kind of bothers me. But we're gonna go ahead and grout this area now. Someone's gonna come out this week and quote us for how much it'll cost to paint the tub. But yeah, I'm excited. Since I last saw you guys, the bathtub has been refinished. A few things. So if you guys have never heard of Thumbtack, Thumbtack is an app where you can pretty much contract anyone to do anything in your area. It's very useful and there's reviews and everything, so I love it. So I found this company on Thumbtack that had 5 stars. They came and they painted this. They charged $250, which is I thought was pretty reasonable. But I asked the guy, like, what kind of caulk do you guys use? Is it mold free? So what happens is sometimes people will skimp out and they'll like get like cheaper caulk. So caulk goes around the surround of the tub. And so instead of spending like $8 on the caulk, they'll spend $2 or $3. The cheap one is not mold resistant, so you find yourself having to clean it all the time, where the other one that costs like $8 is, and you never have to worry about it. So basically, the guy didn't know if his was or wasn't. I didn't ask to look at it. He didn't offer. So I was just like, oh, like I have this one, why don't you just use this one? I failed to check if it was paintable, and he failed to check if it was paintable, which is mainly his job. If you look really closely, it's like bubbled up there, and they gave it quite a few coats. Let me see if I can get it to focus. But basically it's bubbling there because it's not paintable. But when they were taking off like all the tape and the protective stuff they laid down, the tape got stuck to the tub. So if you guys look right there, see if it'll focus. All right, you guys can see how the paint is not even. And they tried to fix it, but I don't know what happened. Like it just started to run. So they have to come back. I keep painting my tile. Like, what is that? I'm gonna finally float all the walls. I have my bucket of caulk, this paint roller, which I'm gonna use. Not sure if this one's like liquid enough. If I can use this for this. By the way, I'm using like this textured roller. Do our little edges. Since I'm not gonna have any baseboards in the bathroom, I need this to look as clean as possible. We are ready for coat number 2 of our primer. The reason why I'm putting on 2 coats is because we want to make sure, especially since the wall is white, that it's properly covered in this primer, because the primer is what the Limewash needs to kind of spread out evenly and give you that effect that Limewash gives you. All right, so second coat of primer is dry. Look how beautiful and even and flat our walls look. We are ready to start with the Limewash. Finally, I need to put the door back on before we start, because I'm also going to be lime washing the door. That way it's all like the same, whatever, like little pattern or whatever. So let's put the door back on really quick. Alright guys, so for today's episode we're going to be using Limewash from Color Atelier, except the color that came in here I didn't like, and I was kind of rushing things and not wanting to wait, and I wanted it to be more of a taupey color than the yellow that came in here. So this is a sandstone nude color. I hope that it matches my tile. Let's mix this up and just see. All right, so I got my big brush right here. We're gonna dip it in. right off the bat, I don't like the color. It's very yellow, and this is not. It doesn't match at all. So I'm gonna have to look up how I can tint the Limewash to look more like this or like this, because that's not gonna work. That's so yellow, I hate it. So since this was too light and yellow, so for Limewash you want to use like natural pigments, and I can order some on Amazon and they'll come here by tomorrow morning, but it's $30 because that's the cheapest one I can find. And whatever, like $30 isn't bad, but I just paid $105 for this, and I think if I use coffee, it'll be the same thing. So we're gonna add a little bit of coffee, or maybe a lot, to this and let it sit overnight and see what happens. Hopefully I don't ruin the paint. Stir it. It's very yellow. I hate it. But maybe we can make it work. How much do you guys think we should add? Like, I don't know if that's too much. This is Cuban coffee, so it should be pretty pigmented. Hopefully it does something. It's just kind of scary, honestly. I'm gonna risk it, and I'm gonna make some coffee and throw it in here. All right, so. Alright, so while we're waiting for the coffee to make, I just realized that coffee beans don't dissolve. So my walls might have coffee specks. Love that. We're just gonna go with it. Coffee's being made. So because I'm impatient and I want to see what this is gonna look like, I put 2 ice cubes in the coffee. I'm literally just gonna pour it in here. Let's see what happens. We are the